Hey guys, Don here. Welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. I want to tell you about my first $82.50 expense that I wired transferred over to the Philippines. So I currently have a Filipino virtual assistant. I found one, and he has been quite helpful. He's been doing kind of uploading my video. So basically now all I have to do is do the YouTube video, and he puts in all the information, the description, everything, the cards, which are those things that call people to action afterwards. And he's kind of doing some research on how to kind of put in the special keywords and things like that. So it's been nice. It kind of frees me up to do, and that's the whole key, is to do what you like to do and what you're good at. And I think I'm okay at doing videos. I'm just not good at, and I don't like doing the other stuff. And so his name is King, and so I sent him my money. Now, what was kind of sketchy is sending money to the Philippines. It was easier than I thought. It's like this wire transfer thing to his bank, and I'm just worried that, so if I do this next podcast and I'm $20,000 short, it's because you probably shouldn't set up a wire transfer with a Filipino virtual assistant. But it seemed like a pretty legit thing, but I'll keep you guys informed. And so my whole thought is, well, I think I earned $300 on YouTube, and I spent $72. And if it increases the amount of viewers, that's the goal. The goal will be, it'll be worth it. So phase one is like doing all this video stuff. So now it kind of puts pressure on me to make more videos. But I have a very similar process that I do for my weekly Podiatry Practice Mastery updates, where I use like Google Slides and I put pictures in and I just talk over them, and then he does everything else. Step two then is to have him do other stuff, right? That's the whole purpose of having a virtual assistant. So the other stuff that he's doing, I'm training him to answer all the comments, because when you start having a popular YouTube page, you got just tons of comments, and you're supposed to like interact with these people. So I don't mind interacting, but I can't give medical knowledge. So I've kind of given him some standard replies, and he knows the content that I have, so he shares these content links with other people. So that's another thing that I'm setting up. Basically with King, I pay him once a month. And so basically on the first of every month, I'm going to be sending him payments to the Philippines. And then as I think of more things to do, I would like him to start like doing these email things that I do for Podiatry Practice Mastery, where I do the video, and then he could upload the video to the blog. He could make it into the email sequence and stuff like that. That would really save time and help you to do more stuff. So that's kind of exciting. There's also an advance. I think I've been talking to you guys for a while about this newsletter. So the newsletter, I think it's going to be coming out in August. We're kind of excited about that. It's been easier than I thought. We use this company, I think it's called like 911 Marketing. It was recommended by Dan Kennedy, who is this marketing guy. And they've seemed to do a good job. And they asked me today, do you want to pick out the testimonials that we put on, because we're going to do like Google reviews on each one of these. And I said, no, if you could do it, it'd be better. So as much as I can delegate to someone else to pick out the good ones, that would be an idea. And they're going to be sending this to all of the top 400 of our primary care or doctors that are on our referral sheet. So basically, we pulled a report from our medical record, which is Athena, and I can put people according to how much we earned from them in the last 12 months. And so we have some that are like $30,000. And these are primary care doctors that constant. So there's only like maybe I don't know, 15 or 20 that have a whole bunch, and then the rest of them. So what's the goal is to take the rest of them and push them up. So this is for cheap money. It's I think it's $110 per mailer, and it goes out once a month to those 400 doctors. And I think to set it up is maybe another $200 or $300. So if you think about it, it'll be about let's say $1,000 a month, and to 400 primary care offices. So we'll see what it goes like. Either they're going to hate it or they're going to love it. And the goal is to get all the two younger doctors we have in the practice a lot busier. And that's kind of the low-hanging fruit. And then we'll also send that newsletter out to the patients in a PDF format. But I don't want to send it to all the patients due to the price. That's why I wanted to send it to all these primary cares that could potentially refer more patients to us. So I will keep you guys informed. Then the last thing I want to talk about today is doing stuff for free. And I mentioned this a little bit in passing. And so when I was first starting out, man, I nickeled and dimed my patients to death. That's how I called it. Like, this little toe pad is going to be $3.95, and this other thing is going to be $8, and this and that. I know some of you may say you have to charge for every single thing, but I've kind of gotten to a point where it takes me just as long to talk about a $550 orthotic as it does for me to talk about a $3 pad. And so I prefer to talk about things that are going to provide more revenue, and other things, a lot of things I just give away. And one way I do that is like these little toe spacers I'll just kind of give away. And but recently I've kind of done it for other things. So for example, for ultrasound, a lot of times if I know their insurance won't cover it, I'll take a quick look with the patient in the office. It doesn't really cost me anything because the machine is just sitting there, and I'll do a quick look without charging them, and maybe I'll do a full ultrasound read another visit. Another thing that I tend to do is if ultrasound isn't covered, I'll charge for the first one, which we charge is just $100, and the other ones we do for free if they're paying. Now, one mistake I've made, and I hope you don't make this, is I stopped talking about money with patients. And this Tom Hecker told me to do, or he recommended, he did it, and I've stopped doing it because a lot of times what happens is I'm telling patients, oh, to do an ultrasound guided injection, it's like $50, or just do an ultrasound, if it's not covered by insurance, it's $100. They never remember what I tell them, and they just remember what they want to remember. And what that means is if we do bill their insurance for an ultrasound guided injection, we might get like $150 for the ultrasound, or for the cortisone, and then more for the ultrasound guided injection, and that goes to their deductible, and they have to pay all that, and then they get really mad. So I vowed, this is a Scout's honor, that I am not going to talk about money with patients. And I have my staff come in, they have these little ABN things they go over, and it's just really made my life a lot easier. Now, we're going to have to do some training with staff to talk about money because they're kind of short, and they don't like talking about it, and so they're not really into salesy things. So I think they're going to give up more of my sales than help me make these sales. They're going to say, oh, it costs $550. You probably don't like these things; they're horrible, and so you shouldn't get them. I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen because we all know our staff. What I really need is a staff that only talks about money and that's really sweet and just can explain everything. I haven't found that yet. But what I'm doing is I'm giving away some of these things. And even to the fact, I had a patient today, she came in bilateral Achilles tendonitis, and she had done like a velocity brace. She did a tall cam boot. I think I recommended a velocity. She didn't want it. She tried physical therapy. Now, I would have jumped right into shockwave right away, but she didn't want that. And so today when she came in, I did bilateral ultrasounds, showed her the effusions at the area of the insertion and things like that. And I was going to do shockwave. That'll be the next step. She's going to set up the first 3 shockwaves. But what I did today is I actually did a session on her. And the way I explained it is I'm going to do a session to see how you tolerate it. Because some people with these Achilles insertional ones, they really can't tolerate it because her pain, she ranked it like at a 9 or a 10. And I did it, and she felt like she was getting something. I didn't charge her for it, but it helped to set up the other treatment. So I think a lot of times with shockwave, for example, you can do a test trial to see how the patient does with it and just not charge them for that. I think that just shows goodwill, and I think it's the right thing to do. So what are things that we can kind of give away in the office and that has a great value for the patient, like ultrasound or other things, and really doesn't cost us, like the shockwave doesn't cost anything because I just have it kind of sitting around there. Okay. Great, guys. Well, we'll talk to you next time. Okay, have a great one.